Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is ReadingBear and I hope you are ready for some more stories. And today, we'll take a look at some new entitled people content. If you enjoyed my content, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and post some bear emojis in the comment. And now, let's dive right into the stories.
The first story is titled I Got Myself to Your House. Why should I pay you gas money? I don't really hang out with this acquaintance anymore. We'll call him Pat. I met Pat through a friend in college. I didn't know what to think about him at first, but he seemed like a gentle enough soul. I couldn't see him hurting a fly. One day he calls me up and asks if I want to hang out with a group of his friends at his place on the weekend. I know a few of his friends and agreed. He asked if I could get a ride to his home since I'm 15 to 20 minutes away. He's visited my house before and knows where I live. I don't have a car, so I set up a ride with my father. He works close to Pat's place, so it wasn't a huge deal. I waited at my dad's work from 7 a.m., opening of the store, until the time that Pat said I should arrive at 9 a.m. I arrive and it's just me and him. He explains that we have to pick everyone up. I'm thinking they all live nearby, so it won't take long. Especially since he was so against picking me up at my house. I also didn't know the amount of people and thought it was maybe 2, 3 at most. We drive well over 45 minutes to get to the first person. We even pass my street on the way to there, to which I mumble, WTF, as I saw my house flash by. I sat in the passenger's seat until one of his friends bangs on my door. Pat said, "She always rides shotgun. Can you get in the back seat?" I don't argue and sit in the back. We're only going to pick up one, maybe 2 more people, right? Nope. I am slowly squished as we fit 3 more people in that weren't exactly tiny. Not to mention some people in that car didn't use enough deodorant if they did use any. It took about 3 hours to pick everyone up, and towards the end, we never went back to his house. We end up chilling at the last friend's place as she doesn't want to leave her house or squish in with the 4 of us in the back of his tiny car. Understandable. We start to do the long drive to get everyone back home a few hours later. I knew the path we were going to take first. The one that goes close to my house. The second we are by my street, I ask him to pull over. He's confused until I explain that my house is down the street. This way I don't have to ride around for another 2 to 3 hours and my dad doesn't have to pick me up from his place. Thanks for the ride. It was, sort of, fun. Have a good day. As I'm leaving, he gets out of the car and asks me to wait. He takes his time and fidgets a bit until he finally asks me for gas money. I did drive you around the city and in the country. It's only fair, right? I spent all my money helping to pay for the pizza and soda for the group. Of which, I had 1 slice and water. He says I can pay him later, but I explain how I don't have a job and don't have money. He turns around and leaves without further debate. I hung out with that friend group a few times, but I didn't jump into a car with him again. Especially since I felt like I used 0.01% of the gas that day to simply pull over. He definitely is a very timid person. I found that he uses his timid nature to wiggle extra favors, items, and money out of people. Including gaming desktops built from scratch. The next story is titled Red Flag Client. Hi, I'm looking for an engineer to immediately do the following edits in a week or less, as time is of the essence. If you can meet the deadline, I will continue to hire your ongoing. This is the dream job for the right person. Once I hear back from you, I will send you the notes and site URL. Then please price out each task and tell me when you can have it completed by. I will send payment once the task is completed and uploaded to my site with no errors. We can divide it into payment after each task or after a few tasks, however you want to do it, but I don't pay up front or by the hour because I have no idea how well or fast you work. That's why the only thing that makes sense is to pay once you've completed the task or after a few tasks. That way you are motivated to finish quickly to be paid quickly. My response. Hi, client name. You didn't send a list of edits or a URL. We don't do work without 50% up front, and we don't deploy to customer sites unless payment is made in full. We do, however, demo our work once complete for sign-off. Thanks. Flag starts waving more. Nope, no sale. Like I said, you will create a demo of my site. Price out each task, then does the task, then I pay you via PayPal or Payoneer after the task is completed and transferred. You are off your rocker if you think I would ever consider sending payment ahead of time. I've been scammed before, and most engineers talk a big game and don't know what the hell they are doing. So, no, you will work task by task and earn my trust or miss out on working for the next Jeff Bezos. Whoever works for me for 6 months gets a chance to earn equity, so if you don't want to own a piece of the next Amazon, then you should get head checked. I also asked you to agree to my terms, and then I would send the list and site, so you're not even following instructions well. At the end of the day, I'm the boss and you're lucky to even have this opportunity. You make me happy, it changes your whole life, and you make millions. You don't make me happy, I give the opportunity to someone else, and you watch them live the good life that you could have had while you continue to chase these little $500 to $10, zero jobs. Opportunities like these don't come around every day. I'm looking for someone who can follow directions, be a self-starter, is an expert, works fast, isn't intimidated by a woman, and doesn't talk back. My proposal is also more than fair. X. If one edit is $100, you do the edits on the demo site once it's done and you transfer it, so I know it's in my possession and working correctly, then I pay you the $100 and we go on to the next edit. If you aren't okay with that, then something is up. I'm not going to pay you half up front when you could just take the money and disappear, or put me on the back burner and put another client ahead of me. No, I expect you to work 8 to 12 hours a day on this until it is finished. If you can handle that and do a good job, then I will let you build the other side too. I am also raising $1 mil from a $3.4 billion hedge fund, so there will also be a sweet bonus for whoever makes me happy and a free vacation. I then replied stating, then it's no sale for us. You're mad if you think talented developers are going to work for free or be talked to rudely, but I guess that's why you're still trying to find a developer. And then red flag. Stay an employee trading your time for money for the rest of your life, dumbass. You will work for money until the day you die, sweetheart. The person who makes me happy will eventually make money in their sleep and become rich. Your loss. The next story is titled EP Trespassed onto our property and tried to sue. So this was a while back and some of the details are a little foggy, but the main details I remember well. Now, I wasn't the most involved in the conflict either, but I still got pretty angry. Cast. Me, EP, my mom, my oldest brother, and 2 of my dogs. Now, my dad is a lot into security, and we had clear signs that said no trespassing. So one day my oldest brother came back home from the military. He usually only gets to come around once a year, and he got home with his big truck. Now, I live in a semi-rural area, so we have a lot of area and can let our dogs roam freely outside. With an invisible fence so they don't go over the boundaries. Anyway, my brother had to park, but our main driveway was filled, so he parked on the side of our driveway in the grass, which was still on our property. After being parked and a week later, he had to leave again, so he took his truck and left. But he left the yard a surprise. There were huge tire tracks that dug into the mud, making the yard look kinda messy. Even though it was on our property, our neighbor, the EP, stormed over, and was going to complain about how the tire tracks were on her side of the yard. Surprise, surprise, they didn't. When she was storming over, our dogs were outside, and one of them bit her. We didn't know this until after the whole thing went down, but she actually was kicking at our dogs. Anyway, she got bit in the ankle. It wasn't even severely injured or broken, and she started banging on our door. My mom was the one who got to the door, and she had to deal with her and her BS she was saying. Sadly, I don't know what she said, but from what my mom said at the time. Anyway, the story starts getting more foggy from here, but from what I remember, the EP tried to sue for $25,000, and tried to get the dog taken from us. At the end of the day, she lost. She didn't get anything and paid our legal fees. Our dog didn't get taken. The next story is titled Why I Don't Usually Socialize. So, I don't usually post on here but needed to get it off my chest. It's a long one. For some background, I'm a, kinda, introvert Asian guy, with only a handful of friends in real life. I prefer to stay home and play video games, like Rocket League or Apex Legends, rather than going out and socializing. One day, I met this dude, CB, in a random Rocket League match lobby and we did great. He invited me to party up, but I feel I play better with randoms, without the pressure to perform, than in a pre-made lobby, so I didn't join. Couple matches later, we met again in a different match and he invited me again, and for some reason, I decided to party up in the moment. We played a couple games and talked a bit while playing. He invited me again, the next day, and it went on for a while. It was going great. I was kinda happy that I made a new friend. He was from a different country than mine and had a family with 2 kids. Every once in a while he used to tell me about his work and how difficult it was managing his family expenses where he stayed. I usually told him to maybe shift to a different area or get a better job. Fast forward couple months later, he FaceTimed me in the middle of the night, never before. Mind that our time zones were different as we were from different countries, and asked me if he could get a couple $100 loan from me as he was moving to a different state and was falling short of the said amount. I didn't have much money at the time as I just paid my rent and electricity bills the day earlier, plus a couple $100 is still a good amount for me. I told him so and he got really upset. Said he really needed it and it was my idea that he moved states and how he has already committed all his money into it and can't go back. All he needs is a couple $100. I said I needed to think about this, it was really late and I needed to get up early the next day. He kept texting the whole night saying things to me like how I ducked him up. Woke up the next day and although I didn't like his response, I thought to myself how I would feel if I was in his shoes and sent him around $120 without saying anything or replying to his texts. I don't regret it but probably the biggest mistake of my recent past. He didn't talk to me for a couple months still and I was really hurt. I didn't know what I did wrong. I suggested him to move to a cheaper place for his own good and even helped him out. Around a week ago, CB's wife texts me out of the nowhere, again, never before, and says how me and CB need to patch up and I'm the only friend he could count on. I thought he realized his mistake and we hopped on for the first Rocket League session in a long time. His wife was also playing on the split screen. Never played with her before but okay. A couple games in, CB's silent the whole time while she drops the bomb on me. So I think, y'all should meet in real life. Okay? The silent CB now starts talking all of a sudden. Yeah dude, I think we totally should. Matter of fact, I was just telling his wife that we should visit my country, you know? We could meet up, you could show me the places you think are cool and we should see. Get to know your culture and all, unless you have a problem with that. I mean wow that's kinda sudden. I am kinda getting the hint that he wanted to talk to me because of the trip he planned not the other way around. But okay, I thought I would make an excuse later or whatever. I kinda half-heartedly agree and we finish the game session. Not even a day later CB's wife texts me again. Hey, there's a problem. We are kinda on a budget right now, but since we have already decided to come visit you, do you think we could split some of our expenses? We could crash at your place too for the time while y'all kiss and make up? Holy crap I was right. I was lost for words, not because I didn't want to deny it this time but because of the fact that how they were trying to exploit my already broke ass, without shame, I should add. I was really hurt but not too surprised. I replied to her with 2 words, no thanks, to which CB texts out of nowhere from his account and tells me how full of crap I was that I had no life. I lived in a third world country and was probably gay. He proceeds to accuse me of crap talking to his wife. Mind you I literally said 2 words no thanks. And says he's gonna block me everywhere, like I care anymore, and I'm gonna lose a good friend in him, but then proceeds to not block me and insult me some more instead. I then went on to block both him and his wife on Messenger. Today I woke up to a, hey, from him on my WhatsApp. This is a good example why I don't make friends. The next story is titled Tantrum Like a Toddler. For context, I am a manager of a franchise furniture store that's owned by a large corporation. I used to work for another owner who had about 10% of the stores. When I worked for the smaller franchisee, I was in a position to make about 99% of the decisions in dealing with complaints from customers. Now there's strict policies and procedures and not a lot of wiggle room. So I am forced into certain decisions. Company policy that applies. Customers are legally entitled to terminate a purchase contact agreement within 48 hours. After that we are legally allowed to refuse a refund for 30 days beyond the estimated delivery time frame. Company policy says after that 48 hours cancellation requires a loss of 10% as an administrative fee for services rendered in good faith of the purchase. Sorry for the long explanation, story time. So I had this customer buy from on my sales reps. I was pulled in to discuss delivery data and was then present then the terms were explained and signed. The delivery was possible in really quick or in a month. The area they wanted delivered to was a cottage. We have ridged delivery routes and only deliver to that area 1 time per month. This was fully explained. The quicker date was offered and rejected because they just bought the property and the closing hadn't completed. They chose the spot 5 weeks later. They were told the spot on the Sooner truck was the last available. 3 days later. They come in pissed because the cottage sale closed and they called to change the delivery date. The sooner date was full and they demanded a refund to go but elsewhere. Remember, they signed a contract fully aware of the 10% fee to cancel after 48 hours. I went to willingly cancel their order less the 10% fee and the wife had a complete and utter meltdown. Kicking, stomping, rolling around on the floor, screaming and crying, swinging her arms and legs. I explained that it wasn't optional. They signed the contract after being fully aware. She insisted we didn't tell her. We did. Legally we don't. It's in writing. It's not a long contract. You signed it. I offered to have it brought to the store within days if they wanted to rent a U-Haul. She spent, I kid you not, 45 minutes crying on the floor. At one point I looked her dead in the eye and said, "I'm going to go do some work. I'll come back to assist you with your adult problems when you can act like an adult." The whole time her poor husband just stood there looking sad and defeated. Then out of nowhere he just snapped. Yelled, somewhat gently, "Would you just let the man do his job? He's told you the facts. What do you want to do?" He then turned to me and said, "Let's get XYZ here for pickup and I'll take it up in my pickup truck and we'll go from there. Sorry for all this." I got my warehouse team to get a floor model item they bought and he went around back to pick it up. The wife continued to sit sobbing on my floor for the next 30 minutes or so, crying to someone on the phone and calling me horrible things. The next story is titled "You Are the Director, So Pay." Over 15 years ago I was working part-time at my local college. I have a degree in animation and was excited to be hired by the local council to do an animation about the danger of alcohol to kids. I was the sole animator for a 2D cartoon that would run, I vaguely remember, about 20 to 30 minutes. I informed them that it will take a long time to make as I can only decide 3 days a week to work on it along with my other job. So stupidly I started working on it, attending meetings to discuss the storyboard which they wanted me to produce. I also stupidly didn't get anything in writing about my duties or how much they would pay me. I thought they are a council, surely they won't mess me about, and it was a great opportunity. They also wanted the animation to cut to a live action bit. I happily gave ideas through the storyboard. I set to work creating the characters, animatic and couple of scenes. After a couple of months sent them the progress. They said it looked good but it was taking a long time to make. I reminded them yes it would, as I am the only animator working part-time. A couple of days after that they hit me with an email saying that they found people for the live footage segment and when will I send the money for their train tickets. There was about 20 people and kids from a city over 100 miles away. I was utterly confused and asked them to explain. Was told that I am the director and was expected to pay for all expenses for the actors' travel and get the film equipment. My jaw hit the floor hard. I couldn't believe what I had read. Immediately informed them that I never agreed to be the director, just the animator, and I am not providing the funding. They then informed me that as was a shame and if I wasn't happy they can find someone else. I immediately told them okay, find someone, and that I quit. I never received a single penny for that council for my time and I didn't pursue the matter. I was so stressed out and upset at myself for getting into a stupid situation that I wanted to completely cut them out. I was so downhearted that I avoided producing any creative work for a couple of years. At the time it felt that my work wasn't good enough. Instead I focused on my other job and became a full-time teacher. When I take on any work I have everything in writing with pricing and an upfront deposit and tell many students to always do the same. Anyone can scam you. If they really want your skills they can pay for it. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel and post some bear emojis in the comments.